Bryce, you're on back ribs duty today.
I am. I've got back ribs. And of course, these are what we're calling the food drive baby back ribs. Rotary's involved in the food drive. We'll talk about that a little bit. But right now, it's more important we get these darn ribs on the barbie.
Absolutely. Let's get a rub happening.
Yeah,
You have a lot of...
I got a lot of stuff.
This is going to be a pretty comprehensive rub, isn't it?
It is. But the nice thing is that you don't need to follow along and sort of, watch each and every one of these ingredients and jot it down, because it's going to be in the recipe for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to refer to it and as you go. But what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our dry ingredients and we're going to mix them all in. So we'll add all of our dry ingredients in, and then of course the magic is that you give it a little mix.
Great color in there, Bryce.
Isn't it great color?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to clean as we go.
And unfortunately, the only thing I can tell you here is we got a little smell-o-vision. This is got an amazing aroma to it. Put this on, rub it in good.
And I know earlier back, Bryce, you pulled off the silver skin off a rib.
Yes, I did. And the whole idea with that is it's going to allow this rub to penetrate in, because if you leave the silver skin on, of course, you're not going to get that penetration, right?
Absolutely.
The silver skin will soften, especially in the braised method that we're going to be using, because there is a way of breaking that down a bit, but this just allows that dry rub to really penetrate. So we're going to get that rubbed in really nicely here.
Perfect. Both sides?
Both sides.
Excellent.
You're going to want it all over, edges, even get the edges if you can.
Now, Bryce is doing baby back ribs here, but he could be doing the exact same method with side ribs or St. Louis style ribs. So you can alternate to whatever type of rib that you actually have.
So we've got these ribs nicely coated, and you can see that they're done on both sides. So looking good. Now we're going to add our braising liquid in here. And of course, we've got a little container of applesauce. It's not applesauce, apple juice. It's not sauce. We took the pulp out.
Bryce squeezed the fresh apples
Yeah,
this morning.
exactly. I won't tell you that story. That's not necessarily true. And then, of course,
Apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Yeah. And the apple cider vinegar, of course, I think is the secret that a lot of people need to understand, is that anything that's got any type of an acid in it is going to help with breaking down connective tissue. And connective tissue and that silver skin would break down with that. And that's really what we're trying to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place these dry rubbed ribs right into the pan, bone down, and we're going to set them in here.
Yeah.
And then,
perfect.
Look at those. Doesn't that look fantastic?
I'll get you the tin foil from underneath.
That's fantastic. Thank you. I'll just lift that up a little bit for you.
Your hands are a little bit
I'm a little goopy there. I apologize for that, but that's part of it. Maybe you go ahead on it, John.
Go ahead.
Might be a little better. Yeah. Or we might have some singeing on the outside of that when we get it into the barbie.
I'm going to stick that on the top. Now, we're doing the whole thing in the barbecue, but if at your home you didn't want to run your propane, your barbecue that whole time, you could do this portion in your oven, and then you could do the final part on your grill.
Well, the next step, we're going to walk this on over to the barbecue. We're going to put it on, but we should talk a little bit about the name here. We talked about the name, and of course, the fabulous food drive, and really what happens is Rotary twice a year assists the food drive by going out and actually gathering food. So those yellow bags that we always talk about, and people in the community, I'm pretty sure are very familiar with that. And of course, what we do as Rotarians is we get together, and it's generally on a Saturday. We come around, and of course at about 10 a.m. we start gathering those bags and we bring them in. And we literally bring in thousands and thousands of pounds of food. So it's really important, I think, that people remember that. There's a food drive in the spring and the fall, so we've got another one coming up here in the fall. Stay close to media. It's going to be announced, and of course those yellow bags are going to be available. Support the cause. It's another great way to get out and support people in need in our community, and it's what Rotary really does, Joe.
And you know what? Kamloops is an amazing community. Even with the pandemic on, you broke records. So
we broke records. It was absolutely phenomenal. And
tell you what, Bryce, I'm going to carry the ribs.
You're going to help me.
If you want to take your gloves off,
I'm going to get
wash them up, and I'll meet you over at the barbecue.
You betcha. Sounds good. I'll meet you there.
Look at that nice manicure, Bryce. You are ready to go.
Isn't that nice? That's absolutely fantastic. I got those gloves off. I got washed up. I'm ready to go. And thanks for carrying this over to the barbecue.
Let's give you the handiwork.
Hey, so we're going to put these onto the barbecue. Remember, this is sitting at about 300 degrees. We're going to cook this for about 90 minutes. We'll look at it in about 60 minutes and have a peek and see how it's doing. We'll keep it at about 300. We'll keep watching that temperature, and we'll see how we're doing. But I think it's going to be great, and I know you will too.
How about you show me this barbecue sauce you're going to make?
I'm going to do that for you, John. I'm going to show you. It's going to be great.
And from Caesar's on my desk, I remember, or on my deck, I remember the last ingredient you got there on the side.
You got it? Okay, go ahead.
A little bit of Tabasco, right?
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of Tabasco. Now, there's all sorts of hot sauces you could use here, but you know, we're going with a Tabasco sauce. You might want to use a habanero, you might want to use whatever, but they're, again, that's just adding that little bit of a heat profile. And again, if you don't like a real hot spice, don't put it in.
Now, Bryce, I'm not going to double dip, but before you put these on the ribs, can I try that out and see what it's like?
Well,
I got extra spoons.
No, you can't try it without letting me try it along with you.
Okay.
And if you do that, then I'm in. Let's grab a spoon. I'm just gonna get some of that molasses off this other spoon. So we're gonna use that opportunity while I'm doing this.
Perfect.
So we'll mix this one up a little bit. Keep that going. All right, let's get in there. You go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna let you try first.
All right. That with the smoke and the grilled taste of the ribs, that's gonna be fabulous. It's got enough bite to it.
Oh yeah, that's really
It's not overpowering.
You're gonna like this.
Bryce, I gotta tell you, I'm glad that the ribs are ready to go, because if you walked away, I'd be back in that sauce again.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about what happens next here, now that the ribs are ready.
Well, what's going to happen next? Of course, these have been, you know, on the Barbie. We've had them at, you know, about 300 degrees, and they've been cooking off here for a couple hours. We're now going to take them out of the pan, and we're going to put them onto another sheet pan. And the whole idea here is what we're trying to do is let them dry a little bit. So we're going to open this up, let people have a look, just so you know this is actually real.
Yeah.
There you go. Just have a look at those beautiful ribs.
Bryce, if I was handing out awards, you'd be winning one for these ribs. Let's have a look at those.
Gee, you know what? That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I haven't had an award in a while.
We're going to get you on a rib truck for Ribfest next year.
Yeah, there you go.
That is incredible.
Aren't those ribs looking fantastic?
Delicious.
I'm just going to pull these off and set them back over here on our sheet pan. But you can see this. I mean, they're nicely barked. They're looking really good.
Right. Nothing fancy. We don't have to sit down at a table. We can try a little of this out.
Absolutely. And we're gonna just pull these apart.
And everything you've been seeing with Bryce and I today, this is all stuff you can do. You can pop over to your Save On Foods. You can get a wonderful selection of ribs, and you can cook this quality of ribs right at your home.
I'm going to give you this one, John.
I can handle it.
Yeah, I know you can. Just have a look at that.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a little warm. It just came off.
Yeah. I can cradle it.
But the really nice thing about this is, you know, what we've done here is we've done that braising, and of course we had that acid in there, and that acid really helps break down that connective tissue, make it really tender, juicy. This is going to be absolutely mouth-watering and incredible.
All
so
right.
Here you go. Here's to you, John.
This is why we do what we do.
Isn't it? It's never pretty eating ribs on camera, but
oh, that is wonderful. A little bit of kick in that one. That is nice.
A little bit of heat.
That was really nice.
Come on, Danica. Come on in. Are you wanting?
Are we doing sharesies?
Yeah. So what a great way to do it. So Ribfest is a big part of Kamloops. We're going to let you have a little bit of it at home. You're not going to want to miss out. And of course, remember where those recipes are, folks. You go to KamloopsRibfest.com. You're going to find everything. And of course, you're also going to find our link to our raffle. That's the important thing. It's the only way we can raise dollars this year, and they're all going to go right back to you in the community. So get out there and support it.